No, not done one of these in a little while. It's early doors. It's Sunday. There's plenty of coffee. And there's a nice relaxing game for CompleteXbox.com's Sunday early play session, where I usually choose a game from Game Pass, advertise it on the website during the week, and then play it live on Sunday. Invite anyone to come and chat via Twitter, Facebook, our Discord channel, or even on stream. So not too much hassle with this sort of game. It's a fishing game. I actually play Fishing Planet, if I'm honest. I've not really got into this. Don't know why. Just Fishing Planet has just always been quick and easy to load up, but thought I'd give it a change. And some people must be bored of my Twitter photos of Fishing Planet by now, so I just thought I'd do this instead. So bear with me while I get to grips of all the controls and bits and pieces. We'll do a quick play. Apparently I've done this lake before. Yep, select your location, although it does seem to be jumping around. But I think we'll just stick there. That's how I always choose a nice relaxing game on a Sunday, because as much as I do get up early, always been that way. You know, used to work in a bakery when I was younger. I used to be up at sort of 3 o'clock in the morning and start cooking. And then since then, pretty much every job that I've done has always led me to be in work fairly early. Never as early as that, but it's just left me with an imprint. And then obviously when you have kids, they get up at the crack of dawn as well. Not anymore. Oh, board the boat, eh? Yeah, Sunday early play sessions suit me really, because like I say, I'm up early. It's all quiet. I don't know about you, but I don't really need a all guns blazing sort of game first thing in the morning. It never suits. So I'm just gonna notice the top left hand corner, too busy chatting. Some fish were floating past on. So. So you press X, that takes you off your boat. LT to cast anywhere. So if you move, with the right stick, right trigger, and a simple cast. We're using a lure and probably the stop and go technique, which is where you read it. I actually prefer float fishing, if I'm honest. I've jumped in at the deep end on this one. The other thing about fishing games is usually the environment sounds. If you turn it up really loud, and you could all this lockdown business and all that that's been going on. Although in the UK we are actually allowed to go fishing now, it makes you feel like you're there. But that's the vibe I always got from Fishing Planet, and played other fishing games in the past and always sort of got that vibe. I'm actually going to see if I can quit this lake and see if I can find float fishing, because techniques come over time, I assume, that sort of thing. I mean, each game is different, but you often feel that they're fairly the same. Fishing Planet is so easy to pick up and play. It is that relaxing. You know, it's technical too. No pressure fishing. Let's see if we can find. Career mode. Let's. Pretty sure this is going to be a float. On the basis that I haven't actually unlocked anything on career play. But I really need to give this game more time. So I just thought I'd give it a go a Sunday morning. Ramble on like I usually do when I do a stream. Let's say bear with me with the pauses, because I do chat on Twitter as well. I've actually been doing this for a while. Some of you may have watched my videos. This is something that I do on a Sunday, but like I said, pretty much for a couple of months I haven't done it, whether it's been the lockdown.
You join us here on the water today as the competitors are getting ready for the start of this exciting event.
Pretty much used
While
to
we wait for the action to begin, let's take a look at the rules for today's tournament.
If there's anyone that knows me from CompleteXbox.com, I also run a Thursday night. Again, sometimes that's streamed. Usually we're just giggling and laughing at all sorts of stuff. Last week we had a go at a Jackbox game. In fact, my good friend Hawk, he hosted and set us all up. It shits and giggles, really, as it always is on Chatbox. This week we're going for something different, a shooter. Again, we do it off Game Pass, just basically because most people are subscribed to Game Pass, so they can relate and join in as well. There's a group of us that do it regularly. We invite people to join, try and make the game as big as possible. This week's game is either going to be Halo, Gears. I mean, good friend Gareth suggested Destiny. Do Destiny 2, seeing as it's free to play. Again, for the numbers. It sort of breaks the mould a little bit, but I think that's fine. Or another one is the Stylistic Puppy, who wouldn't mind giving World War Z a go. So, which we've done a couple of times on a Thursday. You may have seen a video or two on that. Always a good laugh, World War Z. Up to 8 players if you play versus mode. So that's worth a shout, although we might be just over 8 players. I don't know yet. We shall work it out on the Discord, which is where we chat and discuss the games in bits and pieces. So if you want to just join our Discord for just gaming chat and banter, we do challenges on there. Gaming challenges throughout the week where you don't actually all have to be online at the same time. You know, you just post your score. We've got a variety of games. FIFA, Forza. We do time lap on Forza 6/7. Forza 6 was a games with gold titles, so again, a lot of people will have that. Forza 7 is very popular, but sort of doing the two and taking screenshots, same track, same car. I don't think there's any difference in the time, and to be fair, you know, it's only a laugh, really. Nothing too competitive. We do a golf game, the Golf Club 2019, fantastic game. If you ever like golf, fantastic game. Again, another easy chill session. We also play across the pinball games as well. So all the free-to-play pinball titles with their only their tables though. Bloke run, the buzzer's just gone. Cast. Oh, it's still. Why can't we? See, I may just unload this as. Switch to Fishing Planet. And then I'll show you the difference between the games. I know I said I played this, but it just seems so rigid and apparently we've caught something. Well, obviously got to reel it in. It's almost like Sea of Thieves sort of mechanics in terms of you go with the But there you go. So I've levelled up at £9. I'll take a screenshot of that. We'll give it a little bit more time, but let's say I still feel that the Fishing Planet is much easier than this. Also, with this game, I have noticed there's a heck of a lot of add-ons that you can buy. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the game, but you can buy add-ons that keeps the game going. But the game, for me, a game's got to be smooth. Maybe that I just haven't played it enough. This is fine, because like I say, I have been fishing numerous times in real life. Do know what I'm doing. I'm actually looking forward to the Ultimate Fishing Simulator. Which is coming out on Friday. It seems a strange one to be looking forward to a game, because like I say, I do play all the mainstream games as well. But honestly, 3 kids in around the house, especially during lockdown as well. You really do have to sort of watch times you sort of go on. And when you think it's fine, it's not. Now, don't get me wrong, my kids are a good laugh, and that they'll come in, and sometimes you'll hear them on the stream. I've also streamed Fortnite with my middle lad. Again, around Christmas time, we had so much fun on that, playing Sneaky Snowmen. Hiding the Christmas tree and run around. And we won quite a few battle royales as a duo. It was quite funny, mostly me hiding and then jumping out and shooting people while he took the cannon fodder. But we had a good laugh. See, this is stop and go technique which we've got going. See, slowly getting the hang of this game now. Not saying I've caught anything right now, because you don't with the stop and slow technique. You often reel in. So we need a big cast. Now, with a lot of fishing games, the best thing to do is just let the lure hit the bottom. Tighten the reel a little bit. And then gently start reeling in. Give it a little nudge now and again. Obviously, just move it off the bottom as well. Little turns now and again. See, I haven't done that very well, so we're going to have to be careful because we're going to lose this. Might get lucky though. We'll lose it. Oh no, we've got it. another small pike. I'd say small, £6, not no slouch, but compared to the first one. Let's change position if you want that. I don't know how you it's your tackle box, you know, but doesn't appear to be a way. Here we go. We'll do another. That a nice 100% cast. Go that way a little bit. Right, so we've got the perfect stripe in this one. This one has got some fight. It'll be pulling me a little bit, so I'm expecting a little bit on the heavy, on the weight side, a little bit more than £6 anyway, that's for sure. Ended it. Yep, personal best, £11. Put me into first place with 5 minutes to go on this round. Maybe we'll cast off over there. We can get anything off this, we're nearly out, so we'll try again. We moved into second place for the round. It would be great if that fish just come up and grabbed it, eh? Don't think it's going to though. It's all the time, should have just left it, no point. So second position. I'll take that for someone that's hardly played this. Right, we'll leave that there on this stream. In a second, I'll switch over to Fishing Planet and I'll show you what I mean by that. Right, so I switched over to Fishing Planet. Now, obviously, on Fishing Sim World, there's got to be a way to float fish just like that, and I will investigate that a little bit more and have a look. But this is Fishing Planet. It is a free to play, so there are obviously microtransactions. You can get the Fisherman, which is the standalone version. Of the game. We go to the first lake, which is your start off lake basically, which is Lone Star Lake. Got to pay attention to the weather forecast. as you would in real life. Better conditions for fishing. Just to find fishing plan a bit more user friendly, so you get the main screen straight away. You see your fishing position there, you can change that. So if you change it there and then clicked on download it, give you a little bit of detail where the fish are, where's the best position. This is the weather bit, the forecast. Obviously the best part of the day is at 1 o'clock and onwards. So we'll do that. It gives you the fishing species, what's in the lake itself, what you can catch. You need licenses. I own both sorts, but obviously if you have a basic license, it basically means you can't catch at night. It also gives you take restrictions. Sometimes there's a take restriction on certain fish, certainly trophy fish in some cases. You'll notice if you have a basic license on this, it's saying you must release spotted bass, reedy sunfish trophy, and the bluegill, another trophy of that type of fish. I had the gold unlimited license, so the gold advanced, so I can take whatever I like. Room wise, you'll see lots of people fishing as well. You can interact with them on chat as well. It's actually a very friendly community. I think everyone is in the same sort of idea, that it's not too competitive. There are challenges, there are tournaments where it does get competitive, but everyone will help everyone out. It's that sort of community. So if press X, we go fishing. And this is your lake. Another person fishing there, but I always like to start off here in this position. If you press X, you can fast forward the time. I'd say the time was about 1 o'clock for a decent sort of start, and press A, but obviously there's a cooldown, you can't fast forward for another 47 minutes at this stage. If you press your right bumper, you have all your bait. I am float fishing, so we'll go with some semolina balls. Again, left trigger, just like fishing sim world, to start your cast. Hold trigger down, right trigger down. And I like to plonk it out a bit further because during the day, that's where all the bigger fish are, a little bit further out. Obviously in the evening they come a bit closer. You've got your right, on your right hand side of the screen, just underneath the bait, you've got your float. And this is the sort of fishing that I do like, because to be honest, you can sit down and have a biscuit, cup of coffee, a beer if it's later on during the day, obviously not first thing in the morning, unless you're going on a plane. But the little, you see my float is moving away like that. I don't want to strike it too early, so and then we'll reel in. It's not a very big fish, you can see by the gauges on the right hand side, and that's your first fish. And you earn sort of money, sort of buy better fishing gear and level progression. Like I said, there are tournaments get involved with, but this is just an easy sort of pick up, float out, and it does get technical. But like I say, I'm only showing the beginner lake, and that was the sort of the beginning of Fishing Sim World before. So we don't want to strike too early. We want the fish to take the bait. So it's had a little nibble. It's still having a little nibble. It hasn't actually took the hook line. See, if I strike too early, I'll miss it. And then I'll scare the fish. And then I'll probably have to reposition. If anyone's just coming into my stream now, you'll notice it says Fishing Sim World. That's what we were playing. But I haven't played it for a little while. I do found the controls clunky, and I think that is the reason why I prefer this game. And I just wanted to show you guys for the next 20 minutes, half hour. Anyone that actually watches this over the next 14 days, checks in, has a look, sees what we're all about at CompleteXbox, certainly on a Sunday. But I know that I'm actually open to bits and pieces, and that I will change the game if I feel there's a need that I've less stated. Just find Fishing Planet just a little bit smoother. There's no clunky feeling, and that's what I'm hoping to get from Ultimate Fishing Simulator. Plus, I'll be honest with you, I much prefer sea fishing in real life than freshwater fishing. And there isn't really any sea fishing games out there. So I just wanted to experience that side of things as well, because on Ultimate Fishing Simulator you can go sea fishing as well. So, and you can fish from the shore. You could also do a bit of deep sea fishing. See, strike done too early. I did not let that go, so now we might have a problem. So what I'm going to do is just reel in a little bit. Try and leave it in that area, and hopefully the fish is still there. But as in a lot of cases, certainly as in real life, you'd have frightened the fish, and you might as well have reeled back in by that point. One, also, you wouldn't know the condition of your bait. So in fact, actually, we'll take that in note. It's a computer game, if you like. It's not real life. But Fishing Planet does come closest to the real thing, really. Certainly freshwater fishing. Because you can do all the techniques. You've got the lures and things. I'll show you that in a minute. The bits and pieces. But oh, it did. Felt a little something on the reeling in, which means the fish had a little go at it. But we'll let that go. I'm not too worried about that. And what we'll do is I'll quickly show you. If you press your start and you go to inventory, and this is what you've got. You take a backpack with you. You can buy a different size backpack, and basically this is everything away. Backpack at current, tackle, sort of float, baits. But I do actually have another rod with me. I got that free with me, so I'll switch over to that. And as you see on that, I've got a different kind of fishing. I spin the spool in, and the idea of that is that the light catches the fish. One, it resembles a fish, and two, as you're reeling in, the light in the water is supposed to reflect off that and obviously catch the fish's eye. And obviously I've got a different type of bait on that rod. It's still the same rod, so I can put 3 rods out if I wanted to, and you can do that, but it's just, like, if I say for this sort of purposes, I'm not really playing it properly. I'm just sort of relaxing. I'm also aware that kids might walk in any minute as well, so I don't want three rods on the go. So for this, you can go to your shop. There's a main shop before you actually go out, but this is the shop at Lone Star Store. It's a little bit more expensive than it is the main shop, but if you're caught short and you don't want to leave, because obviously if you go to the higher levels of lakes, it costs more to travel there, and you can stay for 2 or 3 days at the lake in game without travelling back, but you might run out of bait, so it has an in-store shop on each bait. And then there's missions to track. So I haven't quite done this. I've done quite a few of the earlier levels. Mudwater is still fairly early, but let's just travel to Mudwater. Again, you've got to have your build up of cash, but it's a little something to do. But I mean, you can go a bit further down, and you can see that you've got to prove your catch, get some trout, but you've got to use a barbless spoon or a spinner. Got anything else that you win different rewards as well for doing it, so there's that side of it as well you can do. And then there's the master challenges. But I say, I just find this game so much relaxing, even if you don't complete the missions, which are quite, they're worth doing, because you get sort of stuff for your tackle box, and you can customise your weapons, customise your rods and stuff. And then you've got the sport bit, which is the tournaments. Basically they have entry fees, running time only for a couple of hours usually. Some have requirements as to what to do. They'll only allow a certain type of fishing. Others are sort of free to go. Plus there's also now custom competitions as well, so people set their own up in the hope of charging an entry fee. For instance, I don't know how they've got 7 players. They've made their money already pretty much. This one's got an entry fee of 1,000 sort of credits, and it's got 7 people out of 200 wanting to start. Price pool is 8,000, so as long as it makes its money, it's fine. I mean, and then you got the premium, which, as in all free to play games, if you try to make their money. But I swear to God, with Fishing Planet, I haven't really bought anything, so we'll move just to show you the other side, another position. So we moved here. We'll do that, we're fishing here. What we'll do is I'll use some pet food, which, again, if you look at the in-screen menus, it will tell you what fish will go for, different baits, tell you why as well. One of the reasons pet food is a good fishing bait is the smell, because it really does stink. Now, actually, the position where I was the best place for a bit of pet food. Now, obviously, the small lakes, they don't actually have the biggest sort of fish. The biggest fish that I've got out of is only sort of 3 pounds, sort of 4, I think, 3.4 pounds. And they still provide a challenge because you progress your rods up. So I think this rod can only take about sort of £7-8 anyway at most. And again, as in real life, you've got to have the right sort of line on, because again, the lines only take a certain weight as well. The gauges on the right hand side, they'll tell you sort of the optimal position, what you're doing to your rods and stuff. So reader fish we just pulled out, but you'll notice on the right hand side there's 3 icons, which basically my line, my rod, and the reel, and it gives a percentage of the condition that they're in. The idea behind the gauge is you're supposed to try and keep it to green, because that's optimal. It's not going to do much damage to your rod, your line, or your reel. Obviously, the bigger fish, then that'll put it out quite a bit, and you might end up going into sort of like the different colours, the orange and the red. And if you're really in red, you've got a very good chance of either breaking your rod or losing your tackle. So, but there are things to do, as there would be in real life. You can adjust the tension. So, if it's a big fish, you could allow it to take a lot more line if you have it, if needed. But if you ever want to find me, you'll find me on CompleteXbox.com. I do a lot of new stuff. I do review stuff for the site. I run the community sessions on a Thursday. It's too early. I didn't think that was too early. It seemed to be pulling it, but like I say, I run the Thursday night game night, which is always a game from Game Pass. We have a lot of fun with a regular group of guys that always turn up. I've been gaming with them for years. But we also have members from our community turn up. As well, so, and we always have a laugh. Like I say, it's so chilled. It's no competitive. Well, there is competitive as there is friends and stuff, but more for taking the mickey, that sort of purpose. We really do have a laugh and take the piss out of each other a bit. Let's say I have streamed it quite a bit, but not recently, so there won't be anything on my channel. But we are totally open to anyone joining. Let's say it's advertised on CompleteXbox.com. Always on my Twitter account. It's always on the Complete Xbox Twitter account. We have our Discord. We also have the Xbox Club as well. The Discord is such a fun place to be in. You really should check us out. There's always chat going on. SnowRunners is actually a popular game at the moment on our Discord. We have a chap there, goes by Officer Cartman, and I swear he's like a sales pitch for SnowRunners. I think he had it, and he was the only one that had it, and he banged on and on and on about it. So much passion for the game, if you like. And now there's quite a few members actually have it, including myself. And the wife yesterday sort of said to me, "What are you playing that for?" And I sort of say, "Well, you know how I like my nice, relaxing games, different change of pace from my shooters, because, like I say, I do play shooters. I do play all sorts of games." And she couldn't believe I was playing that. And she said, "God, that looks so boring." And I said, "Actually, it is so relaxing. I appreciate to her, it probably does look a little bit boring. Certainly different from your Halos, your Gears of War, your Sea of Thieves, your sport titles, your FIFA and that. But then she'll say the same about this, and I'm into this, you know. But then she knows why I play this as well, so you know, I play it for the relaxed feeling. You wouldn't catch me playing this much during the day or in the evening. If the opposite, it's more of a, for me, it's more of a first thing in the morning, cup of coffee before the kids wake up, sort of thing. Plus, the good thing about this game is you play it is you can, if you choose the right lake, for example, this lake, if you've got 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes spare, you just want to catch a fish or two. Put this lake on. Obviously, I wouldn't do it on any other lake because it costs money to get there. But this lake is free. There is another lake that is only actually 120 credits, and considering you get, you know, if you log in every day, and you haven't got to fish every day, you've just got to flick the button and log in every day, you can get up to sort of like about 2,000, 2,500 credits by the end of the week, you know, if you're logged in every day. So you can build your money that way as well. But I tell you what, we'll be listening because we're not getting anywhere here. I'll just show you the position of different positions of the lake. I mean, I could change my bait, but actually, we'll stay here. We'll change the bait. And we'll go back. Go to some bloodworm. But this game has all the techniques as well as the previous game, Fishing Sim World. Just feels smoother, you know. Comes down to personal preference. I'm sure there are plenty of people that sort of say, actually, I prefer Fishing Sim World and that side of things. And I can say Fishing Sim World is full of transactions and things and different things, downloadable content to buy, and it's actually a standalone game. I feel like a standalone game should have all this. It actually has far too much to purchase. At least with this, you know it's a free-to-play game. As with most free-to-play games, you can, if you grind it out, you can progress. And I suppose this is a grind. So I'm just going to change my... So you can actually chat on here as well. That tells you who's there. But most people actually just gives you what they're doing at the moment, what they're called missions that they've just succeeded in. And that you can fish this side of the lake. This side of the lake in the evening is good for pike. But if you go here, which is actually my favourite position on this particular lake. You should go use these little lily ponds as marker, and then if I were to choose pet food again, and then you can either hold right trigger, which will just a bar, so engage, but I'll pull that back out in the. Or if you hold the left trigger, you can hold a position and then move the right stick to roughly where you want to put it. But be warned, if you don't get it and stop it in that area, it will just drop it right at your feet like it just did there. So we'll do that again, that left trigger, we'll aim for about there. This time within the area, and it casts exactly where I want it. The only thing let's say you can use your different. I've actually got my position of my overlay in the way, which is not necessarily the best position. It could do with being the left hand side. I might move that in a minute, but you can push. If you push up on the D-pad, it will allow you the quickness of your reel. If you push left or right, I think it is, Maybe I can't do it at the moment. Oh no, I can. We'll catch this fish. If you press left or right on the D-pad, it will allow you, your slack, whether you're willing to allow the fish to have any slack. I prefer sort of a tighter line, but not tight. Usually about 3 or 4. But it's something to play around with because it really does make a difference. There are people that swear by certain lengths of the line, the tightness of the line, and they get results, and they're a much higher level than me. And who am I to to sort of say they're wrong? I think everyone has their own. You work what works. I mean, you can easily copy someone else's, but where's the fun in that? The idea is sort of going for a fish just like it would be in real life. You start off fishing, you get better at fishing. You learn the different bits and pieces, the techniques. And I think this game, while it teaches you that with the missions as well, it teaches you all the different techniques. Every step of the way, do this, do that. So you can learn the game like that. Or you can choose to say, well, look, I've done so far now, I want to do a bit of fishing. See, that fish is just pulling it down a bit, but now it's took it. If you saw on the right-hand side, the float, this is the way the line is, it's a bigger fish. It's a trophy fish, so it's 1.2. Like I say, the fish aren't huge in this pond because you don't, therefore you need a light rod. It's the idea of a level progression sort of game. It's basically a pond you start out with, but you can continuously fish. You come back and earn a bit of money, and come back if you know you're not going to be on the game long. It is a good lake. It's a good starting point. And there's plenty of different species in the fish to go for. Strike done too early. I thought we had that by the way he was pulling it, but no, we'll just leave it there for a minute. But usually, maybe we'll reel it in a little bit because it did have a good yank at it. But on the left-hand side, you see the time of day, the temperature of the water, because again, all these things actually affect it in real life. And you also can see the fishing hut, which is my net. This is my keep net. Again, you can get different size on the keep net. I actually have one that will hold 300-pound fish. Obviously, that's more suitable for different lakes. And then, obviously, the better the net, the more fish you can get in there. And also, there is an indication of the biggest fish that is allowed in that net. So in this current net, although it can hold 15.4 pounds, the biggest size fish is 6.6 pounds. That's probably to do with the size of the fish. But again, it's got a wind speed. So sometimes with this game is the weather changes every day, just like it does in real life. And sometimes you want to go to a lake and you think, I can't because the weather's crap. What's the point in spending my credits to go there? Just like you would in real life. What's the point in going fishing? We're wasting my time, my money if I've planned it, petrol. Oh no, I'll go to this lake instead. See, this fish has really took this one. But like I say, because it's a relatively starter lake, you can reel in quite easily, unless it's a huge fish. I mean, so you can get some that do pull. Not really in this lake. But obviously if you had a really good fishing rod that can take sort of say, £40 fish, a £3 fish is going to reel in really quickly. So, and you're not going to have any hassle. Where's the fun in that? So, lower the lake, the rod should be suit, really. I mean, even this rod, it doesn't have too much hassle with the fish, really. I say it'll only be if I can show you. There's, I can't think of the name off the top of my head at the moment. What type of fish it is? I'm actually trying to fish it now, so I can show you. That's why I'm using the pet food as a bait, because it actually does prefer that. I'll know when I've got it by the actual gauges on the right hand side, but I don't think I've got it because it's too easy to pull in. So I'm still getting rid of sunfish, but it gives a little bit of a fight on this flake, certainly on this type of rod that I've got. And I do recommend this rod. I'll tell you what the rod is in a second, because you can take this rod to several lakes as well. Certainly the lower level lakes, and I don't think you're going to come across many fish that will break the line, or you'll really struggle to reel it in. I mean, you will get a good fight with one or two fish. And that's the aim of fishing. It is a sport. You're supposed to have a bit of fun out of it. You get the relaxing side of it, but you are supposed to have a little bit of a sort of challenge to reel the fish in. I suppose that's where Fishing Sim World gets it straight away. You saw the challenge. If you saw the previous fishing game, you saw the challenge of having to fight for the fish. It just doesn't feel natural to be tugging left, right, backwards, forwards, because you wouldn't in real life. I mean, yeah, you would naturally go with the fish, but I mean, you wouldn't, if you've hooked that fish properly, the fish isn't going to go anywhere unless it's a really sizable fish. I said I was going to say, so I'm using a Neuro 1210 fish, and if you look on the left hand side, it will tell you the length of the rod, 1210 being the length of the rod. It's either the line weight on the fish. It's 5 to 12 pounds I'm using. The action is moderate, so and then I'm using a Prima 2500 reel. Again, that'll do, a good 8 or 10 pound fish, no problem, without complaining. And I'm using a fluoro line because the fluoros, they're clear, and you don't really want the fish seeing the line, do you? It's got a test of £8, so it should take up to £8. Obviously, if you get an £8 fish, it's gonna give you a good pull on that, give you a struggle. But what I'm actually fishing for, so now I'm doing the fishing species, what I'm trying to show you, is one with pet food. You can catch a channel fish. The highest I've caught was about 1.8 in this figure. It'll give you the details on a catfish, 10 to 20 pounds, but there are only sort of baby ones in this pool. There's your pike, but the smallmouth buffalo actually says not to use pet food, but I've caught plenty on pet food before. But maybe we'll switch to bloodworms. Tells you that they can actually grow to 35 pound. Typically sort of up to about 15 pounds. But again, they're only really baby ones in this lake, really. So maybe we'll switch to blood worms. So right bumper, pull up your bait. Again, you don't start off with these baits. You start off with your standard bait, a bit of bread and honey sort of thing, cheese. And you earn the baits by level progressions. And also by your money as well. You can buy, but certain baits are locked depending on your level. Again, different lakes, they do actually have different things. You can go in a boat, you can actually buy a boat and keep a boat. Strike done too early. But that didn't nibble it enough for me to pull it in, I don't think. Maybe it did. Also, if you press, in this state, if you press up on a D-pad, it will change you the length of your line, you know. But obviously, if it's not a very deep lake, you don't want it too big. I always go about sort of 26 inches. I think the actual game starts you off at about 19 inches, but I've found roughly a good spot is about 26 inches. You'll know from the float itself whether it's standing upright. See, in this area, it's not actually perfect, actually. I'm going, because I must be hitting the bottom, because the float is not standing upright. If I'd have left that there, as it's just come up on the screen, I would caught a fish, but we'll go to 23 and we'll... Again, perfect for type of fish you're going for, really. If you're going for a bottom feeder, you want your line to be sort of right at the bottom, don't you? But that's not the fish we're after, is it? I actually do a challenge on this game as well for our Discord channel. It's just basically the biggest fish of the week. You know, on a set lake. Obviously photo evidence, so you need to take a screenshot on our Discord, but just a bit of fun, you know, to brighten up during the week. And from June the 1st, all our challenges, we're going to total up, they're going to be worth sort of little points on a point system. So, first place will get 5 points, then right away through to fifth will get 1 point. And then we're going to have sort of about 8 challenges. And then it's going to be, by the end of the month, there'll be weekly challenges. So 5 points in each challenge up for grabs a week. Across, I think it's about 8 games. and then by the end of the month, we're going to have a leaderboard, and the top 2 will be the prize. Will be basically indie games, I should think. First get in sort of I couldn't tell you the exact number, of batch of games. It was several games, and then the second prize will get a prize too. Again, just a bit of fun between our members. It's nothing big. It's more for the fun of it all, really. But we're also doing a gamer score challenge if gamer score is your thing. Monthly gamer score challenge starting from June. I've reserved a few easy titles. I've seen a couple of them come out recently that sort of said, oh, that full 1,000 could be done within 20 minutes, half hour. So while the community have been sort of getting them, I've been saving them for the challenge. Not that I'm going to win the challenge, because like I say, to be honest with you, I haven't got the time really. But I do want to be involved with it, have a little bit of a banter, and I certainly don't want to come bottom, put it that way. Change to semolinables. Like I say, different levels bring different things in this game. Being level 19, I actually have enough to put 3 rods down in one go, but then I think the relaxed side of it goes slightly, because you're then watching 3 rods. I mean, in real life it's different. You're sitting there, you're watching your rod, and you can manage three rods in real life. Sometimes on this game you can't. I mean, I've seen plenty of people do it, but for me, I can do it, but I then start sort of, I need to pick this one. Is this one going, I always take screenshots throughout the game. I am one for posting my screenshots on Twitter, the Xbox Club, even our Discord channel, who has a screenshot section. We also do little funny captions with it sometimes on there. But oh, white crappie. Who named a fish white crappie, eh? I mean, in the UK, I'd never heard of a white crappie. I mean, you can see in the distance on this game, the little blue lines above it, they're different players' names and that. And so that will tell you how many live players are playing the game right now on this particular lake. And there's usually quite a few. I mean, this is early, so I mean, think about this other parts of the world, and that this is not optimal time for them as well as. Well, sometimes I like early morning games. I mean, if any of you ever played Sea of Thieves and get frustrated by your boat being attacked or anything like that. Time of day does affect it as well. I mean, if you play it, obviously you've got to be up early or anything like that, but if you really are up this sort of time of day and you fancy going and Sea of Thieves on your own, be it, in a sloop, this sort of time of day is not too bad, actually. You probably get a lot done without coming across too many idiots of the game. I know the game is set up to attack other boats and bits and pieces, but as a rule, myself, if I'm in a group of 4, I don't really attack a sloop because they're not likely to attack you, are they? So, let's see here. I might have my fish that I'm after. You see how the gauges are halfway up on some of them. It's not giving me too much of a challenge to pull, although it is now. You hit a little bit of the ticky, but like I say, probably got a slightly overpowered reel for it. But that's one of the biggest fish you're going to get on this lake. To start off with on the basic rods, and this is a fairly basic rods, but I mean the real basic rods, that sort of fish is really going to give you some struggle to get in. You might take sort of 5 or 10 minutes trying to just land that fish. See, I reeled it in quite easily, but in fact you might even break your line, because you might run out of line. But that's the fish that I was after, that species. Just to show you that there is life in this lake. Even for the higher level player. 50 sort of coins just for that is not to be passed up, really. I'm doing it too early, twice. But again, size of the net on that will matter, you see. But the reason I've only gone with £15 net in this is, you see, I'm already at nearly, just over £9.5. But another one of those will put me very close to my 15.4 limit. Certainly 2 will put me pretty much on it. And then I'll have to end the fishing trip. Or I'll risk breaking the net. The idea behind not taking a huge net, unless you're going to use it, there's no point, because it wears out over time, and the bigger nets cost a lot of money to repair. So you've got to manage the game as well, with in terms of your resources. Bait's not too, they're not very expensive, but your gear is, and then you really don't want to feel like you're fishing for a chore, as though you're just going for the money, because then it becomes a grind, and then I think with grinding the enjoyment goes. I'm not going to lie, I am grinding a little bit, but the enjoyment's there, and that's where I think games with sort of level progression and stuff like that for grinding, you've got to enjoy it. Fortnite is a grind. If you're going up your levels, you're grinding. I don't care what anyone tells you. Most games have grinding in. Just don't consider it grinding if you're having fun. You sort of know you're doing it, really, but you don't really consider it grinding. Grinding is a word that comes out when you're not having fun. But it's still grinding, whatever you want to call it. And the good thing about a free-to-play game is that I can play this on either system, because PlayStation have it as well. And being a gamer, I'm not tied to one console. I might write for CompleteXbox.com, and I love my Xbox, don't get me wrong. But I love PlayStation too. PlayStation, I tend to play more PlayStation exclusive games on. I do like a story game. even the wife, she'll sit there, and she might not be the biggest gamer in the world, but she'd like a story game, and she'll quite happily sit with a glass of wine. If it's a story game, she'll often say, "Well, why don't you put that on? I'll sit there and watch you play it," because she feels like it's sort of similar to a, not the same as a film, but that interaction is something she can enjoy watching. Then that's something that we do it as a couple. She knows I've got a passion for gaming. I always have. I miss my Sega days. I'll tell you, I miss the old Mega Drive, and I wish Sega would get back into. Obviously, I know they nosedived with the Dreamcast and that, but I don't think I think they were pretty much on their way out before the Dreamcast. If I'm honest, I don't think the 32X was the biggest seller for them. I don't think the Saturn was the biggest seller for them, and I think the Dreamcast was one sort of push that, if I'm honest, they were ahead before their time with the Dreamcast, and I don't think anyone took it. I mean, it's a fantastic console, the Dreamcast. I don't mind being a Sega fanboy. I appreciate Nintendo at the time and that, but Sega, for me, is where the memories were. And even on the Dreamcast, the thought of going online and things like that, fantastic. But obviously the PlayStation come along, and I say Dreamcast might have been ahead of its time. The PlayStation was versatile. And I think the biggest thing with that is a DVD player as well. Sheer amount of games of PlayStation, it was fresh. Whereas I do think, although Dreamcast was ahead of its time, Sega were, if you like, going stale, if you like, a little bit. One or two unsuccessful consoles. I mean, if you look back on consoles, yeah, you might go, you sort of say Mega Drive, but the Super Nintendo was there as well. It was sort of even par, really. But then if you think the next console, if I'm being honest, as much as I love Sega, you probably would say the Nintendo 64, which was a fantastic console. I remember plenty of times playing the N64 and GoldenEye. My God, that game! Yeah, GoldenEye was just so fantastic with sort of other players on the same console, sort of split screen. A lot of fun with that. Certainly remember taking it into college and having fun with that. Also Tekken tournaments, and those were the days, eh? I mean, I will I think I deserve to give Fishing Sim World a bit more time, I'll say, and come back to it when I know what I'm doing a bit more. You know, I mean, the fact that it's on Game Pass is great. Which goes with the CompleteXbox code of sort of games. On a Thursday night, it's always the game from Game Pass. On a Sunday, I tend to stream or play the games, chat with people, play with them sometimes on games that are either from Game Pass, that have been on Games with Gold, or free to play, or on EA Access. Sort of trying to sort of leave it open for people to sort of come and join if they want to. I appreciate it's really early. I do get people come and chat at times, and like I say, I chat across all the different mediums at that time, and anyone can ask me pretty much anything in terms of gaming, whether it's be about this game or what. If they just want to have a natter, that's absolutely fine. But like I say, I haven't done it for a little while, really. And last week, I did plan on doing it, but I wasn't very well. And do you know what? Even though I am up every morning, at the moment, I really don't want to commit myself to being up, because it'll be the time that I'm not. You know. But there are quite a few relaxing games on Game Pass. I mean, it depends what you call relaxing. A lot of people will say they can relax to anything, but shooter's not really something you can sort of stop and go and pick up a cup of coffee and have a sip of coffee with, and that sort of thing. Whereas this game is, so. I mean, I often play, like I say, the golf club. The golf club 2019 is, just like it would be in real life. A relaxing game of golf. Golf is relaxing. It might be boring for a lot of people, and that's fine. But if you ever play golf in real life, you'll know what I mean. There's just something about the environment, a leisurely stroll around the golf course. It's more than the golf itself. It's the environment. It's taking it all in. It's the striding around. It's the chatting with one or two people that are there. I mean, you can have a roll of golf on your own and still get the element of taking it all in, and a zen-like feeling, if you like, which is what I consider fishing. Fishing is, you can go fishing with your mate, that's fine in real life, and have a good chat, but sometimes you enjoy your own company when the surroundings are right. And like I say, I do feel Fishing Planet gets that, because if you really put some headphones on and you whack up the volume, you get the sense of you're at a lake, your surroundings that are there with you. The fact that you can see other players about the lake as well, you're not alone. If you want to have a chat, you can either chat through a mic, or you can chat through the little chat box as well. The community is quite welcoming on this game, and there'll be plenty of people that will chat with you. Won't Bob pester you too, don't get me wrong, but if you wanted to have a chat, you could. I'm one of those people that do like to chat, so I'll chat to anyone that has ever come across me on Xbox will know that I'll ramble on about most things, which is why I don't mind streaming, and even when there's no one viewing it, it's not a problem. It's just the fact that I know it's going to be there for 14 days. Sometimes we should be there longer, actually, if I'm honest. I don't know if there's a way for that to happen. But I'm not the biggest streamer in the world, as you'll see by my views and all sorts. I do it now and again, but it's got to fit with the lifestyle. Family comes first, and that side of things. gaming for me, much as I enjoy it, as much as I do the writing side of things on the websites and things like that as well, it's still a hobby. It's always going to be a hobby for me. There's still the real, for me, not the real world, because that's unfair to say, but the what you have to do in life, you know, to survive, you've got to earn the basics. And that the basic way, if I could stream and get paid for it, fantastic. You know, if I could play football and get paid for it, fantastic. But I like this of it ever happening, and that sort of side of things is unlikely. You know, and like I say, I have 3 kids, and they're my world, as is the wife. So. And the gaming is just on there. So I might have gamed years ago where I did game pretty much most nights. Now I'm tied down because, like I say, when you get lulled into a little thing when you're younger, when you're a bit younger, if you like, and you game and you think, oh, I've got time for this. And you think you're going to get more time. You know, you lose that time as the kids are young. When they grow up a bit, you think, oh, I'll get that time back. Don't kid yourself. I promise you, there's places to be all the time. This and that to do all the time. And I enjoy it. You know, anyone that says that they don't enjoy family life is lying. Because it is so rewarding, family life. And you can fit everything in and around it. It's, you know, family life is a blessing, I tell you. And yeah, you could say it interferes with gaming, but it doesn't, because you make time for gaming if you're interested in. And like I said, having grown up through sort of stages of through Xbox, I've owned every Xbox, and in fact, some of the guys that I've gamed with, I've been gaming with since PlayStation 2. So you go through life. But I'm going to have to call it short here. The youngest has just woke up, and like I say, family life always comes first. Take care.